Hello everyone! Welcome to another episode of Science Experiments, TikTok style. For this episode we have 2 science experiments straight from TikTok. We are going to see if they work for ourselves. We've got a science activity at home to do, some science book recommendations, and we're going to check out our Animal Club science experiment. So for our first TikTok science experiment, all you'll need is a big dish or bowl with some water, a cup, and a paper towel. And we're going to take that paper towel and stuff it down into the bottom of our cup. And then we're going to submerge our cup into the water. Now, I bet you're thinking, wow, that paper towel is going to get really wet, right? Wait a minute. It doesn't though. You'll notice when you take your cup out of the water that your paper towel is perfectly dry. And this is because of water displacement. So we're going to talk a little bit about what that means. Water displacement occurs when an object is largely immersed in a fluid, pushing it out of the way and taking its place. Similar to when you get in the bathtub. You'll notice the water level will change. In the case with the cup, we trapped air inside the cup, which prevented water from getting to the inside when we submerged it in the water, and it kept our paper towel dry. For our next TikTok science experiment, you'll need some baking cocoa and a glass of milk. So you'll start by taking your glass of milk and some spoonfuls of cocoa and just putting it right on the top. And then if you stick your finger down into the mixture, you're thinking, oh, you're probably going to get wet from the milk, right? You don't. The cocoa layer on top almost prevents you from getting wet. It creates almost like a protective coating. So you'll get some cocoa powder on your finger, but your finger won't be wet. And that is because cocoa is a hydrophobic substance. A hydrophobic substance does not dissolve in water. It repels water. Both of our TikTok science experiments worked, and they were both so easy. You've got to try these both at home. Up next, we are going to do an at-home science activity, which is also an art activity. Hello everyone, Miss Emily here. For this part of our video, I'm going to show you how to do an at-home science activity. And this science activity is straight from TikTok. So for this science activity, you'll need a container that you can put some water in. So I have my container here that I have some water in. You're going to need some chalk. So I've got some different colored chalk here that I'm going to use. And you're going to need a plastic knife or something that you can use to scrape your chalk, because what we're going to do is scrape our chalk right into our water here in little bits. So it's going to be like chalk dust falling into our water here. And the last thing that you need, some paper. So what we need to do first is fill our container with water. So I've already put water in my container here. And what we're going to do next then is take our chalk, and I'm going to just shave some of the chalk dust, right into my water container here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that like this. So I'm getting all the chalk dust right in there. And you want to kind of spread it all around. So you get a good amount of chalk dust in there. And what I'll do, I'm gonna do a close-up video of me scraping the chalk dust in so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so we have all of our chalk shavings in the water now, and they're just floating on the top. Here's what we're gonna do next. All right, everyone. So as you can see, now we have all of our chalk dust in our water. I think I'm gonna add a little more blue. It's my favorite color, so I figure I'll put a little more blue in there. Give us a little more of that blue color. And maybe a little more of this pink color. All right, and then the only other thing you have to do at this point is get your piece of paper, and we're just gonna dip it right in the water. We're gonna wait for 30 seconds. Let's do it. All right, so our paper is in the water. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Are you ready to see how it came out? Let's check it out. So all you have to do at this point is just very carefully lift your paper up out of the water. And there is your cool water chalk art. Or it's also called floating chalk art. How neat is that? And so you can do this as many times as you'd like. I'm gonna set this over here so it can dry a little bit. And I'm gonna do another one. So at this point, you can do like a combination of different colors if you want. You can do just one color. You can make it however you'd like, and you can do it as many times as you'd like. So what you'll notice is in your container of water that the chalk dust will eventually sink. But for the time being, when it's floating, that's when you can create your floating chalk art. So just make sure after you put your chalk shavings in there that you put your piece of paper in right after you do your chalk shavings, because that will allow more of the chalk shavings to stick to your paper since they will still be floating. All right, well, I hope that you all enjoy this at-home science activity, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about how it all works science-wise. The science behind our chalk art has to do with absorption and evaporation. And these are the prints I made. I really like how they turned out. So the chalk shavings do not get absorbed into the water. When we put our paper into the water, the chalk shavings stick to the paper and the water sticks to the paper because our paper gets wet. But when the water evaporates, we're left with chalk art. Up next, we're going to show you the Animal Club science experiment. This month's animal is cats. And so I love cats. I don't know about you. I was very excited for this one. So in the kit, you would have received some cat ears, and this is certainly something you can do at home too. All you have to do is cut your cat ears out. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that. We're going to speed it up a little bit for us here. So once you have your ears all cut out, you're going to get 4 to 5 friends or family members. You're going to need a blindfold, and you're going to ask one person to stand in the middle of the room blindfolded. You're going to have everyone spread out around the room. You're going to ask each person to take a turn and make a small, short noise, such as snips or whistles, and the blindfolded subject is going to have to find the person making that sound After you've done that, try to take your cat ears and do the same thing and see if you have better luck finding the person who is making the noise. I think that you'll find you can hear better with your cat ears. A cat up to 3 feet away from the origin of a sound can pinpoint its location to within a few inches in a mere 6/100ths of a second. Cats also can hear sounds at great distances, 4 or 5 times further away than humans. And have you ever noticed a cat is great at balancing? That is because of their vestibular apparatus. It's housed deep in the cat's inner ear, and it's responsible for the cat's remarkable sense of balance. How cool! Well, I hope that you enjoy this fun science activity. At home, up next, we have some science book recommendations. And I'm super excited because these are science books that you can come right over to the library and pick up if you're interested. Let's check it out. Hello everyone! So for this part of our video, we have some science book recommendations for you. So these are books that you can find right here at the library. And so we invite you to come on down and check them out if you should be interested in one of them. So the first book that I have that I'm recommending is called The Biology of Bananas, Discover and Learn with 22 Experiments. And so this book is kind of a kitchen science book, so a lot of the experiments can be done right in your kitchen or using items that you would find in your kitchen, like food or other kitchen items. And so that is available if you're interested in checking that out. The other book I have, this is an Usborne book, and this is the Usborne Book of Science Activities, Volume 1. And so this is just filled with all different sorts of science activities that you can do at home. All sorts of fun different things, learning about electricity and magnets, mixing different things to see what happens. And so this again is available to check out at the library. And then for the last book I have, this is called Shocking, Slimy, Stinky, Shiny Science Experiments. I almost couldn't say that. Shocking, Slimy, Stinky, Shiny Science Experiments. There we go. Got it that time. And so, well, I think it's pretty self-explanatory, right? It's going to tell us what sort of science experiments we have inside here. But there's all sorts of different things you can do in this book as well. And so again, we invite you to come over and check out any of these books that we have here at the library. Thanks, guys. Bye. Thank you so much for watching, everyone.